Hello and welcome to Chakra News. I'm joined today by Col Sundeep Sen, who's a former Special Forces officer. He was the second in command of the NSG's 51 Special Action Group on the night of 26/11, the Mumbai terror attacks. He's also a storied military veteran and now a lawyer. Colonel Sen, welcome to Chakra News.
Thank you, Sandeep. It was always good to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this conversation, Colonel Sen. We've been talking in the last few days, in fact, in the last 48 hours, the killing of Sulaiman Shah. Now, he's one of the masterminds of the Pahalgam terror attack where 26 civilians were killed. But the interesting thing is his background, Colonel Sen. The fact is that he was a former Special Services Group commando who crossed over to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the TRF, whatever you call it. And in the past also we've seen such examples of close collaboration between the SSG, which is Pakistan's special forces, and terrorists. Break down for us what we are seeing here. Is this a pattern or is this just a one-off?
No. It is a philosophy of Pakistan armed forces as a whole to operate away from their country. It started
Right.
from Afghanistan. They
Right.
started practicing it in Afghanistan and successfully did so many operations against Russians.
Right.
And it is easy for them and to come across and operate. Unlike us,
Right.
we generally don't go like this. And for them, it is easy, and as a philosophy, as a planning in their operation, it is part of their plan.
Right. So it's a part of their plan, you're saying, to operate outside of their territory, to go wherever it's possible, and gain, is it experience, expertise? Is that what they're looking at?
No, they have, special forces, SSG, if you see as a whole.
Yes.
They have started operating inside India in Operation Gibraltar when it was launched. Large number of SSG operating was
1965, 60 years ago.
Yeah. They were operating at that time, and
Right.
it's only local people reported against them. Then only the operation was conducted against them. So
Right.
they were much before they were inside India. So it is nothing. In Afghanistan also,
Right.
see, they have been trained by, unlike, it's a good thing about SSG is they have been trained by SAS in the
Right.
line of SAS. Yeah. So, and trained by SAS initially.
Right.
So this is normal for them to come across and operate. It is normal for our operation, our special forces also. But
Right.
what happens, we are not actively engaged in doing terrorism inside Pakistan.
Yes, of course.
So that's why we are not doing. But in case of hot war, always our operative will also go and participate out inside Pakistan. But in a normal scenario, when there is a terrorism is going in Kashmir, it is easy for them to come and practice also and operate also.
Right. So that's a very interesting thought there. The fact that they actually consider this as some kind of a war, an undeclared war, and therefore they are also deploying special forces units across the border, like they did 60 years back with Operation Gibraltar. I think that failed because all the SSG that was pushed into J&K, they were captured by the locals. That entire plan were collapsed, basically. So there is a history of special services group involvement. And, from 1965, I want to bring you to 26/11, 2008, where you were handling the siege of the Nariman house in under very, adverse conditions, where you had hostages inside, you had the public outside, there was no crowd control whatsoever. Like you told me while I was researching for my book, the whole thing had become a tamasha virtually. But tell us about the kind of training and the motivation that the 26/11 attackers were given. I mean, one hears that they were also trained by SSG. What is your assessment of how those attackers were trained?
See, it's a lethal combination of ISI, LET, and SSG.
SSG, right.
So SSG N,
right.
the naval wing of the It's a multiple, organization which are in, which were, would have been involved in training all those 10 terrorists.
Right.
First thing, selection of those 10 terrorists out
Right.
of, thousands and thousands of operative or volunteers
Right.
who sacrifice themselves for in the name of Islam. Those would have
Right.
been chosen.
Right.
Then out of which they would have selected, these 10. Now these
So
10,
these 10 were selected from a larger thing of recruit base of about
yeah,
1,000, you're saying.
yeah, and must and given a training of at least 1 year. They
Right.
must have trained for at least 1 year, because for a small, simple person,
Yes.
or you could say a motivated terrorist, he will
Yes.
pick up a gun and he will be thrown inside India and he will fire and he will get killed. But
Right.
unlike these, they have to navigate high sea,
Yes.
capture another boat,
Right.
then further navigate. They have to be very well versed with the GPS devices and
Yes.
communication devices,
Right.
land at particular place,
Yes.
change, move into different group,
Right.
navigate the entire Mumbai and reach up to those spots where they have planned a hit. They
Right.
would have rehearsed and carry out that operation. So this
Right.
kind of operation is, if LET cannot plan it.
Yes.
LET can indoctrine, they can put a training facility where people are firing, throwing grenade, and
Yes.
battle inoculation and all. They can do that. But this tactical planning
Right.
and with so much of precision, that is not possible for a normal militant. For that, you have to have a special force operatives, giving them training and making them special forces operative.
Right. 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 That's a very good point. So that you're saying that these 2611 attackers were similarly trained, like you mentioned. And
Yeah.
quick thoughts again. When I was writing the book, I was speaking to your friends in the Marine Commandos, Marcos, who had gone there a few hours before you, and they were telling me, the kind of operation these guys carried out is exactly how we are trained as Marine Commandos.
Yeah.
We basically hit the beach in a rubber boat, 10 of us. We split into buddy pairs. Two people go towards the airfield, two people will go towards the aircraft, two people will go towards the ATC, and destroy, say, an airfield target, right? And they use that against the civilian target in
See,
2611.
similar.
Exactly what you just said.
Yeah. If you would remember our conversation long back,
Right,
Mossad does this kind of operations.
right,
They have
right, of
that.
course.
So a terrorist, you can, that kind of terrorist which generally the public thinks or the country thinks, they
Right,
come and they kill people. Those kind of terrorists are different. And now
right,
because those kind of terrorists were there in 90s,
right.
93,
Large
90.
numbers. We had large numbers of them.
Yeah, up to 2000, and large
Right,
number of them were killed by RR and normal
right, right.
infantry unit, and
And
during
you also operated.
infiltration time.
Colonel Sen,
That time, if you remember, our units used to kill
yes. You were also on the LOC during this very
if you
intense period.
remember long back.
Right,
So those days, people used to kill 10 militants or 20 militants. A unit used to kill around 50, 60 militants during their tenure. That kind of operations are no more there, because
right,
the adversary, the Pakistan, has realized that it is better to send these guys who are more trained and who can use terrain well, and
right.
better trained and SSG trained and SSG operative also. So it gives them an edge in with the firefight with our forces.
Right. So this, coming back to the present thing, now we've established the history of special forces operations right from 1965 to 2611, and of course now, given the way things are changing in the valley, and I was remembering the stories that used to talk about your tenure along the LC. You were part of 26 Div, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was in Uri initially
Uri.
when I started my career in army.
Right.
Yeah.
And the kind of counter-insurgency operations we've seen from then to now, I think the situation has changed considerably now. And like you mentioned, they seem to be pumping in smaller groups of highly trained and highly motivated people like this. character, Hashim Musa, alias Suleiman Shah, who they say is a former SSG operative, but it's very likely he would have been a serving SSG operative as well. How do we know? He's not carrying his official papers to say, "मैं retired SSG."
See, I have a point on this. Unlike if you remember, if you see, if you take a broader look on entire operation between India and Pakistan never publishes its casualties.
Right, of course.
They never say, only when they give awards and other things, that time people know. Otherwise, a normal soldier dying, nobody knows in Pakistan who has died and where he had died.
Right.
In Kargil also, you have seen they have refused to take their bodies.
Yes.
People still don't know how many Pakistani soldiers killed. In Pakistan, they don't know.
Right.
So it is their way of, armies control is so much in their country that nobody raises a question also, because whoever will raise a question, he will also vanish.
Like Salim Shahzad. Yeah, of course.
Any journalist raising such question will vanish. His body will not be found. So now, this backdrop, if you see any SSG operative, if he is operating in India and he gets caught, they will say, okay, he has been, removed from service due to his such kind of activity in year so and so. And after that, he has turned rogue and he has come here.
Right.
But if he goes back again, he will be one of them again. So it is easy for them. So because they don't publish who are there. Unlike our special forces, their SSG units are still don't know. Nobody knows how many SSG units are there.
Right.
This guy, when you are talking about Hashim Musa, he is 3rd Commando Battalion, if I see.
Right.
Povin. That is it specializes in mountain warfare,
right,
and high altitude warfare.
Right.
So now he see his action in Kashmir. So anybody who is from the 3rd Commando Battalion will generally operate in J&K, because you have high reaches, you have snow-bound areas, and he's expert in surviving those conditions. So they are sending these kind of people. And if you see his M4 carbine, M4 carbine is the weapon of SSG.
SSG, absolutely.
So what weapon I will carry as an special forces operative, in which I've been trained and comfortable.
Your muscle memory is with that weapon.
My muscle memory is there, and always I've been trained with that. So I will not pick up the AK-47. I will pick up an M4 carbine, because whole life I've been trained with the M4 carbine.
Right. That itself is a giveaway, you're saying. Right? The M4 carbine.
Yeah.
But interesting point there again about Govinda and the fact that it's a high altitude warfare. The whole operation itself, the massacre at Pahalgam, the way it was carried out, the way they maneuvered, they used the ridge lines, they came into Pahalgam, the Baisaran meadow, they killed the people with such utter brutality. I was just telling my colleagues how it must feel. Exactly like Mumbai, the Mumbai attackers that you handled. They, to look at a civilian in the eye, to segregate them, and then to shoot them, execute them in cold blood, that kind of motivation training, it comes with this this combination of, jihadi mindset.
It's a combination of two things. One is the special forces operative, and second, it's not there. He's not doing it for Kashmir or something. It is General Zia's indoctrination of that Pakistan army.
Right. The Islamic.
Professionally, they converted towards Islamization of the army.
Right.
So that is the motivation. Otherwise, professional special forces operative, why he will kill a civilian? I was talking about this. People thinking how he can survive, 3 months, 4 months. Yeah. So now, as far as special operative is concerned, mentally and physically, there is no problem for him to survive, because for that he has been trained.
Right.
Now he doesn't require water.
Right.
Because water he can collect from source.
Yes.
He doesn't require communication.
Right.
Doesn't have need to open the communication, because he has been trained to use limited communication.
Right.
Batteries nowadays, it's all solar charger available. You can charge your small solar charger level pocket size, so you can charge your battery. What else he requires? He requires only food.
Right.
Because for 3 months, he can't carry 3 months food in his backpack.
Right.
So he requires food in between after 10 days, 15 days. And for that, he requires a limited local source.
Right.
Who can provide him ration of food, which he carries and changes his location.
Okay. Okay.
It's not that he's sitting and eating in one place and somebody is coming with, tiffin to him and giving him. He will collect that food like sattu kind of thing.
Right.
Something
dry rations, basically.
right, and
Because he wouldn't want to
which-
cook either, right? Because when you
yeah,
cook in the forest, then you have smoke.
Yeah, no fire, no smoke.
No
So he's
fire.
been trained for that.
Right.
He's supposed to survive in that.
Right.
In during his training, he must have seen the worst days.
Right.
Worst. So for him to remain undetected is the key. That's why there are limited SSG operative and special operation operative who are working now in Kashmir, and they are not getting caught. They are not getting caught in, like local Kashmiri who's gone to meet his girlfriend somewhere. So
Right.
that kind of situation is not there, and it is difficult to track them, trace them, and get.
Yes. No, that's so. I think you've beautifully explained this whole thing about why it took 3 months to track them, and the fact is that how they moved, like almost 100 kilometers west of Pahalgam into the Dachigam forest. They were trekking on the ridge line.
And I'm not surprised also. The way ISI is operating nowadays because of our intense, anti-infiltration grid.
Right.
And a lot of new tech has come, technology-driven intelligence gathering.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised if this guy would have come through Nepal border.
Right.
His weapon would have come from Bangladesh border.
Okay.
And then he gets his weapon, and other people they meet in Kashmir somewhere, and they start operating.
Right.
It is not surprising that he is coming, from LOC.
Right. He could come from other places, like
anybody can walk from Nepal border today.
Right. Right. Of course.
It is all open. Bangladesh border is all open. So if a sack of sugar can go from India to Bangladesh whole day,
right?
If a cow can be ferried to Bangladesh in daytime,
yes,
M4 carbine is a very small thing. It can be,
and of course you have drone deliveries also these days.
Drone delivery also.
Yeah, all of this. So the person can just walk across the border, and his weapons can come through drone.
Because now there is not the 10 terrorists or 20 terrorists are not infiltrating at one go.
Right.
So 2-3 trickling down from different side and assembling at in Kashmir is easy for them. So that should be the new way of. If you remember a few years back, there is a massive operation in Jammu where a truck inside a truck, 3-4 terrorists were hiding, and they were going and they were intercepted and killed. Right. On the inside. Right. So it's not that terrorists are coming from LOC nowadays. They might come from anywhere.
Oh, they could come from anywhere. And the other thing is that I just remembered this when you were talking about how they, the field craft that these guys use. That one image that was flashed on the 27th when these terrorists were caught was that tent kind of structure. That mosquito net kind, that tarpaulin roofing. And, it is exactly, and I just pulled out my copy of the US Army field manual for jungle warfare. It's, I think, 90-5, FM 90-5. In that, there is an illustration, exactly the same thing, the same way. This is how to erect a mosquito net in the forest, and, the way the rope has been tied, exactly the way. And, these are those little clues that give away the training of the attackers.
That is to avoid, aerial observation.
Right. Okay.
From top, if that kind of mesh is there, so there is nothing will be picked up by, satellite or aircraft or any drone which is flying.
Okay. So that is a very quick, counter reconnaissance tool that they've used to prevent.
It's a part of drill. You sit, movement you halt somewhere, immediately you erect that. See, second is the minimum movement.
Right.
In jungle warfare and mountain warfare, it is whoever moves is visible.
Right.
So there is a micro movement.
Okay.
They will move with the contours. They will take the rock, shadow of the rock to avoid detection. They will never move on skyline. They will always, and very small movement. They will not rush to a place.
Right.
So there is minimum micro movement, they say, to make when you are in such situation. That's why they are, when there is no way of guy up in the mountain,
right,
and sitting there for months and months, how can you find him?
Right. So the other thing is that the recoveries from these terrorists, a lot of underbarrel grenades were recovered. This is on the 28th, not the 27th, as I mentioned earlier, the 28th July. From that scene of the encounter, they had recovered a lot of these UBGL rounds, GP25. They look like GP25s, these Russian UBGL grenades. I think the Russians call it what? Kostyoka. What do you think they were doing with such a large number of rifle grenades?
UBGL is used by terrorists as a defensive measure.
Right.
It is not for casualties, or rifle is for firing and killing.
Right.
But UBGL is more so is used because when you are about to get surrounded,
right,
and the forces who are going to kill you will be using you, various kind of covers,
right,
which will be behind a rock, behind a bush, or behind the tree. At that time, only the UBGL works. So, moment UBGL comes and there is a blast and splinter effect, that there is a delay in approaching towards terrorists.
Okay. So it's
So that's why they use. So moment if they fire UBGL, another thing, people take cover, and it is easy for them to run away or merge with to escape, basically.
Right. Plus, you can also use it as an offensive tool against civilians. And
it is an offensive tool, but more or so it is used for escape. It is not for creating casualty. It is more for your escape. You are using it
for their escape. But now that you established the fact, Colonel Sen, so beautifully, that the fact that given the pressure that is there on the terrorist groups and the Pakistan Army's deep state, this is going to be the modus operandi going forward. The ISI and General Munir, Field Marshal Munir, is going to use these kind of tactics against us. What do you think should be our response now to counter this kind of, strategy being used by the Pakistani deep state? When special forces are being used, either infiltrated or training these terrorists, how can we respond to this?
It is a very, very difficult question how to respond to it, because there is no set way of. Only way we can fight it better is getting inside the establishment of Pakistan side. It is a joint effort. It is not that special forces will hunt them and they are like a needle in a haystack.
Right, of course.
So till that I'm done. For if you want to search that needle with hands, it will be very difficult. But if you have a metal detector, it will be very easy.
Okay.
So it is technology, the latest technology which is coming, satellite, through which we can get the heat signature of theirs.
Yeah.
And information both in Nepal, in Bangladesh, and in Pakistan. So it is not only that conventional way of having a barbed wire fence and putting your troops there day and night. That is there. It has been well established. But we have to now find, and people are, I'm sure, I'm talking here sitting, but people who are at this present time are operating at higher level, they must be thinking about it, and using the technical information will be the key, I believe.
Right.
Human hint will always remain prime.
Right.
It will. you can't negate that, because ultimately he has to remain 3 months in jungle. He has to eat.
Right.
If he has to eat, somebody has to provide him food.
Right.
Once, twice, thrice, 4 times, whatever. So that human his connection will always remain.
Got it. So, what about the revising our operational, tactics on the ground? I mean, for instance, do we need specially equipped troops to go up to the ridge lines and go into, jungle warfare trained troops, the kind that we've
We
not
have.
been doing,
We have and we have very highly professional troops who are working, the special forces of ours, who have tracked down these three guys.
Yes.
Special forces are operating. They are actually doing the actual job as of now today.
Absolutely, as we've seen,
They are the people who are, from day one. They remain in background because they are not in limelight,
right,
and doesn't believe in, advertisement and other thing and claiming the kill.
right.
But it is the special forces actually who are working. And
Yeah,
those,
I think we've seen that in Dachigam as well. It's believed to be a para-SF unit. I'm not going to name the unit and the officers who did it, but it is actually a very clean operation. You see the way 3 terrorists killed, no losses, no casualties on our side. Absolutely surgical, clean, 3 terrorists dead. No massive firefight. Exactly like how you would call it a clean kill.
Very professional.
Very professional.
Do their job. They are day and night. They are there.
Yes.
Working and without making any, hue and cry about it, and doing their operation very nicely.
Right. But anyway, thanks very much, Colonel Sen. It's always a pleasure to listen from you and your experience, and to tell us about what actually we need to watch out for when we're up against the Pakistan deep state, and who else but you, who's been at the forefront of fighting this proxy war, this covert war that Pakistan has launched against them. Thank you very much for your time and your thoughts.
Thank you very much, and kudos to the unit who have done and the operatives who have done this good operation.
We will follow it up soon with a discussion as soon as the more details come out on that. Thanks very much, Colonel Sen.
Thank you.